We are sitting here in your new 2020 Subaru Forester Premium. This is going to be a quick overview of some of the new features from your car. As you can see, it looks very different from what you're used to in your current Forester. Lots of things have changed over the last 5 years. So most probably pressing to you is going to be this bank of buttons over here. This little guy here with the A with a circle around it, that is for the auto start stop feature of the car. So when the car does come to a complete stop, the engine will shut off to save gas and cut back on emissions. There is a number of criteria that will not allow the car to shut off. That would be, if the air conditioner is working hard to maintain temperature inside the car, if your defrosters are on, if the wheels are turned to one side or the other, if the car is in park, if your seatbelt's not on. These are all things that will cause a car not to stop running. Otherwise, when you come to a complete stop and the car feels that it's safe to do so, the engine will stop running. We can tell that that feature is on when we see that same A with a circle logo up on your dashboard. If it is white, that means that feature is on. If I were to press that button to the left of the steering column, we see that it turns orange. That tells you that that feature is off. Now what you do notice is that when that is in white, we see a line through it. That means the engine's not going to turn off. In this case, my seatbelt's not on, and the car is also in park. So for those reasons, the engine will keep on running. When that is operational, when you come to a complete stop, the engine shuts off on you. When you take your foot off the brake pedal, the engine will resume right back as normal. The other button that we see down there is for your blind spot detection. So that is on. If you were to turn that feature off, by pressing that button, you see an orange icon telling you that that feature is off. Now, what that does, if we take a look at your side mirror here, when we turn on the blind spot detection, you'll see that light up orange if somebody is in your blind spot. Other differences when we look at the steering wheel. So we see that our audio controls are right over here on the left spoke of the steering wheel. Left and right arrow is going to scan through your preset radio stations, your volume rocker up and down to increase or decrease your volume. Source is going to change you between AM, FM, Sirius XM radio, CD, whatever you happen to be selecting through. The info button, as we press that button, we're going to see the screen on top of your display change what pieces of information it displays. So there's a number of different things that you can do. The weather is through Sirius XM radio. By default, it shows New York. You can change the weather from there. The closest weather to us is Cumberland, Maryland, but you can select a number of different cities through that. I'll show you that on the head unit there. Down below that left spoke, we see these arrow keys, and they pull towards you, and that is going to change the display between your speedometer and tachometer. So right now you see a digital speedometer, but it will cycle through your trip computer, your tire pressure monitor. You can also change the settings for this screen right through there. The right spoke of the steering wheel, this is going to include your cruise control buttons. Now this is new for you as well with that eyesight cruise control. When you turn that on with this button in the top right, we're going to see a silver car in your between your speedometer and tach. That represents you. Now when your cruise speed is set, you'll resume at that cruise just like normal. The difference would be is if the car in front of you is moving slower than your set speed, your car will beep at you once. You'll see another silver car appear up on that screen, and you will slow down to their speed at a follow distance, which you can control with these buttons right here. And you will follow them at their speed until either you can get around them, or if they get out of your way, you'll resume right back to cruise speed. But these buttons are going to, let's see if we can get around that glare. They're going to reduce or extend that follow distance, and that's represented by those white hash marks. You also have this button, which is going to give you your lane centering technology. So if the car is in cruise control, you can activate your lane centering technology, and you'll see that steering wheel logo show up on the right side of that screen. And now the car will actually, you'll feel the steering wheel steer itself into the center of the lane. It's not autopilot. You still have to keep your hands on the wheel, but you will feel the car assist you in keeping you into the center of the lane. That's something that some of our customers like to do on long drives. Some people don't care for that at all. Good thing is you can turn that on and off at your discretion. The S and the I, this is for sport or intelligent mode. By default, the car is in intelligent mode, and we can see that I to the right of the P for park telling you so. If we press the S button, that puts it in sport mode, gives you a little bit of an extra, little bit of power, a little bit of extra oomph if you need it. But by and large, most of the time you're driving the car, you're going to have it in the intelligent mode. So that's all new. Headlights, wiper blades, all of that is going to work exactly the same as it does in your 2015. This here is going to be a new thing as well. So you do have a now touchscreen as well as the physical buttons down here. Will get you to whatever sort of media you're looking for. The radio, everything is going to be right up on this screen. So you see FM, AM, XM down the side, and your preset stations, of which you have 18 of right there. And again, just like the old buttons, you program to the station that you want, you tune to that station, and then you press and hold until you hear a beep, and that will program your station in. Of course, you do have the physical buttons as well as the touch screen, but radio, AM, FM, Sirius XM. You'll also have your media, which is going to be your CD player, your Bluetooth audio, as well as anything plugged into the USB ports or the 3.5mm auxiliary port, which is going to be found right in this area ahead of your gear shifter. Apps are going to work for your, you see a couple of Subaru apps. You see Pandora and AHA. You also see Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Nice part about those features, if you're plugged into the USB port, Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, depending on your phone, will then work where you can mirror several of the apps on your phone up on this screen. So even though this car doesn't have built-in navigation, you'll be able to see your Google Maps or Waze. There's also Spotify, Amazon Music, if you were using anything like that, that will run with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. With Android Auto, you do have to remember to download that app from the App Store. If you have an iPhone, Apple CarPlay will work automatically as soon as you plug the phone into that USB port. Down below your infotainment system, you're going to see your knobs for your climate control. This is going to be fairly straightforward, a little bit different from the old model from the 2015, as everything is now digital. But your temperature, left is cold, right is warm. You're going to see that information change up on your big screen across the top. So as you change your thermostat, you're going to see that change right there. Your fan speed is that middle dial, and you're going to see your fan speed indicated by those bars in the middle. And then the mode is on the right hand side, and as you turn that knob, you see the mode being changed as well. So those are those knobs there. You also see your hazard lights have been, they moved the placement of that as well. But something to look at when we look at this top screen, time and outside temperature are always going to be up there. The middle is always going to show you what your climate control settings are set to. As we press that info button on the left spoke of the steering wheel, that's where we see that we can change our information, and most of our drivers do keep it on this screen right there, showing you your miles to empty and your average miles per gallon. As far as your gear shifter or gear selector is concerned, park, reverse, neutral, drive is straight down. Kick it over to the left does give you your low gear. So that's going to be exactly the same as it was before. You are also going to see this is a new addition, X mode. So if you're in a situation where there's low traction, gravelly hill, ice, that sort of thing, this is mostly for light off-roading. It only works at speeds under 18 miles an hour. But if you go ahead and press this button, you're going to see indicated up on both that screen as well as on your dash by that green car there that you are in X mode. This is going to gear the car down lower. It also works with the traction and stability control, allowing you to gain traction in low traction situations. It also works as a hill descent control. It keeps your car under 12 miles an hour when descending a hill. To undo that, you just go ahead and press that button, puts you right back in normal. You can also twist the knob to the left if you need to turn traction control off, and then to the right to put it right back into normal once again. You'll also see, this is new for you, electronic parking brake, so the mechanical lever is gone. All you have to do is pull up on that lever and that turns your parking brake on, and that's indicated by that red light. You'll also see a red light on your tachometer, or speedometer. To disengage that parking brake, you put your foot on the brake pedal and then press down on that lever, and that will take the electronic parking brake off. Nice part about it being an electronic parking brake is the fact that if it is on, as long as your seatbelt's on and the car is in gear, as soon as you touch the gas pedal, that'll automatically disengage. The button below that, AVH, that's Auto Vehicle Hold. That button works alongside the parking brake so that if your AVH is on, and I'll go ahead and press that button, and we're going to see a green indicator to the right of your speedometer telling you that auto vehicle hold is on. With that activated, anytime you come to a complete stop, you can take your foot off the brake pedal and the car's not going to go anywhere. This is good for heavy congested traffic, anytime that you're going to be stopped for a long period of time, so you don't have to keep your foot on the brake pedal. As soon as you touch the gas pedal, that will pop off and away you'll go. Again, that's something that if you want it on, you can have it on. If you want it off, you can turn it off. You're also going to see that the placement of the heated seats is in a slightly different position. But other than that, everything else is going to work pretty much the same as what you had before. A lot of new technology. Moonroof and everything is still the same. You do now, you have your garage door openers. Those are back, built right into the mirror. And then you also have some buttons on the ceiling. So we see our Starlink for our SOS and the roadside assistance. So if you need emergency services, the red button will get you in touch with them. The blue one gets you in touch with roadside assistance. You do have that free for 3 years. And then we're going to see the buttons to turn off your eyesight features. So your lane departure warning is this button to the left. The one on the right is for pre-collision braking. So these cameras facing forward, those are watching the road ahead. If you start to veer outside of your lane, if you get the cameras are watching the lines painted on the road, that's what the lane departure warning is. And if you press and hold that button, that will shut that off, and we see the orange indicator in your tachometer. The other button there on the right-hand side, if you press and hold that, that turns off the pre-collision braking. And again, not autopilot, but if it sees a obstacle in front of you that you don't notice, it warns you first. It beeps at you, flashes some lights. If you don't notice, hopefully you notice it and hit the brakes yourself even before the warning. But in the case if you're completely asleep at the wheel, the car will apply the brakes the last second. But that is just a quick overview. Of course, if you do have any other questions, you can contact us, and we'll help you out with anything that you might have.